Hey folks, it's Woody here of USA Made Blade, and as promised, but a little later than promised, I'm doing a follow-up video about the ZT0456. We've done a few videos about this, and it's been one of my favorite knives, and it's constantly been in my rotation for going over 3 years now, which is hard to believe. But still in production and still just an amazing knife. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I showing you this beat up, over anodized version instead of a new version? Well, for one reason, we're out of stock, but we have more coming in tomorrow on the newer versions with 20 CV. But also because in my past videos, I've shared with you guys that this one's mine. And this was the very first one that came in. And I gotta tell you, I still love this knife as much today as I did back 3+ years ago when I pulled it out of the box. And the funny thing is that I don't show pictures of it very often because I've anodized it and done so much junk to it over the years that truthfully it doesn't photograph that well. But what's cool, and I'll give a little shout out to our anodizing, people ask us how our anodizing holds up. Now granted, this normally isn't on there, but I use my knives to test sometimes on our laser, and this was some engraving I wanted to see how it would show up on the, and as you can see, it's definitely held up. But anyway, some engraving that I did on it. But if you're asking about our anodizing, especially the stars and stripes stuff, guys, this knife is a beater. I've beaten the hell out of it over the years, and that anodizing's held up really, really well. So has the backspacer, believe it or not. Pocket clip has definitely seen its better days, but still looks good. I certainly love a knife that's got a lot of wear on it, and you can definitely tell this one's been used. Let me see if I can focus that in a little better. Of course, we're always willing to laser a Sasquatch on pocket clips, but I mean, as you can see, this has definitely got some scratches and some things on the anodizing, but it's the anodizing's held up great. Blade has held up fantastic. I cleaned this earlier tonight, and my goodness, if I didn't have this engraved on there, I think you can see it on the other side, you can barely tell this damn knife's been used. And I promise you, it has been used an absolute butt ton. Focus that back in. So why am I doing a follow-up? Well, first off, I still absolutely love this knife. If you don't mind the heavier weight, which it is one of the heavier knives made, especially for its size, it's a fantastic everyday carry. The other thing amazing about this knife, still flips like an absolute champ. Still sharp as all get out. It took very little stropping to get this knife back just wicked sharp. And lastly, I wanted to take it apart, and I got the wrong tool here. So we've done this in other videos, and I just wanted to show you guys. And this is multi-purpose as the reason I'm showing it. Get this thing apart. It's incredibly easy to break down. We've done a breakdown video on this knife. I think this might be the 3rd or 4th video we've done on this knife. But anyway, let's get this sucker apart. We're getting there. There we go. And these are, let's see if that'll focus in. These are the original bearings. And look at that. They're still in good shape. I've always made sure to keep it oiled up. But guys, this has been in saltwater environment. This knife has been, there's a little bit of gunk on that one, but no, that wiped right off. These bearings still look great on it. But it's been saltwater. It's had tons of dirt on it. Like I said, it's not the knife I picture most of the time, because most of the time, truthfully, when I'm using it, God, what is up with the blur tonight? Focus in, camera. Most of the time when I'm using it, I'm busy really using the ever loving hell out of it and don't stop to really think to take a picture. I have some, but anyway, as you can see, something I wanted to show off here for a second. You got a little track here, and for those that ever worry about bearings on titanium that say, well, you're fine on and that you need to have some sort of washer in there. but you're fine on the hardened steel. Well, you can see where it's just kind of slightly marked on the steel, and look on that titanium. If I can get it to focus, we got all sorts of blur tonight. There's barely a track in there. There's barely, guys, it is not affecting. If you get your fingernail down in there and feel this thing, there's no track. There's no real wear. You're just seeing where it's taken off a little bit of that anodizing. See if that can focus in better. There we go. And it hadn't even taken off all the anodizing, which is just a surface anodizing. You can see it's still anodized over here. Let's look at the other side. Look at that. I mean, most of that's just oil from where I lubed it up earlier. It didn't even take off all the anodizing here on the bottom. It's just a fantastic knife. The fit, finish, everything. But the other thing to tell you guys, and there goes my focus again, getting all goofy, is that it's there for the long haul. This is a knife that's going to hold up, that's easy to take apart, it's easy to maintain, and it's just been a fantastic knife that we've been a fan of since the day it came out. And I just had to do a follow-up video to show it off to you guys. I mean, you can tell this knife has been very well used, very well loved, but you sure as hell can't tell when you start looking at that blade. So, you know, it's kind of funny. I hadn't carried it the last few weeks and pulled it out today and just fell in love with it all over again. And getting ready to go, have to do a bunch of work, helping my brother and my father on a project that they've got going on. And I'm actually going to switch over and put a 20 CV version in my pocket so I can talk about it more. But we still love it. I still love it, and it's a heck of a user. So don't skip out on this knife. You never know when ZT will decide that they've made enough of them. But don't miss one of these, especially if you don't mind a little weight, because it is a little heavier. But anyway, that's it. Just had to do a little follow-up video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and definitely check out the ZT0456 and all our other ZTs and other knives at usamadeblade.com. And as always, thank you for watching.